All right, guys, back with some more Horse and Musket. Had a lot of fun filming the first game. Made a few mistakes, but I'm hoping that in the second learning game that I'll improve the gameplay and that this will be a better experience overall. So, in any case, we are the French and the British again. Changed up the detachments here. So this French detachment is led by Captain Adelard. He has leader trait, defensive fighter, master of melee, and stealthy. His second would be Edouard, who has stealthy and weapon master as well as specialist, which allows him to take a specialist weapon. But honestly, he's just going to be taking a sword and pistol as his Captain Adelard. Then we have Felix, who has the eagle-eyed trait and a musket. We have Eugene with, Lucky and musket. And then finally, we have Georges with sniper and a musket. On the British side, it's led by Smith, who has leader, fancy footwork, killer, and master of melee. His second is Guy, who was in the last episode, but this time he's changed up a little bit. He does have specialist, which allows him to take rifle. He has ranger and sniper. We then have Percy, who was also in the last game. He has sprinter this time and a musket. We have Bonnie, who has eagle-eyed and a musket. And then finally we have Lyle, who has Deadeye and a musket. And those are my two detachments for Horse and Musket. We are doing scenario Take the Bridge, a little bit modified in that scenario. The attacker, which in this case will be the British, would usually have 3 detachments, and then the defenders, who are the French, would have 2 detachments. But again, because this is a learning game, I'm only taking a detachment each. Another special thing about that scenario is that it's kind of like one of those scenarios where you have a timer. In the deck, you will be including the jokers, and each time one of the sides, either attacker or defender, draws a joker, you got to mark that on the sheet here, or just keep note of it. And whichever side reaches 3 jokers, that at that point the game ends. That's basically they have to take the bridge. The attackers have to take the bridge by evening, at which point the game will end. Or the defenders will only defend it until evening, at which point the game will end. So depends on who reaches jokers first, I think. We'll go over the scenario as we start the game. So in any case, that is the intro. We're going to start at the top of turn 1. All right, so I was wrong. The scenario is called Defending the Bridge. Scouts are trying to find a suitable river crossing to make a sweeping flank move. Unfortunately for them, the only bridge is guarded by determined troops. So the setup, I approximated the map as much as possible. Had a few more terrain in there just so that we can block line of fire. So again, the forces, 3 detachments coming from the southern edge, which would be that would be the attackers, that would be the British. And then the northern edge, which is right here, will be defended by the French. We are doing 1 detachment, normally it would be 2. So special rules, just gonna have that up on the screen there. And again, time is running out for this scenario. Both sides must finish quickly. Simulate this, put both jokers in the deck. They're played just like the lowest suit ace. But each time a side uses it, take note. Once the defenders play their 3rd joker, knight is fallen. If the attackers are not in control of the bridge or the road at the board edge opposite, so on the northern side, they do not get a victory. And then obviously I'm not going to be tracking victory and renown. We just want to make sure that the British either take that bridge or are on this road right here, and that the French are going to prevent that from happening. So anyway, that is the board. I'm going to go ahead and get set. We'll start with turn 1. All right, guys, top of turn 1. Here are the cards. The top are the British, the bottom are the French. As you can see, the British have quite an advantage. They have an ace, which is the wild card, 2 queens, a jack, and a 3. Whereas the French have the ace, 9, 8, 6, and 5. So the thing about aces being wild cards, You can use that as any card. And for the purposes of this game, or at least this turn, we're going to use them as kings. But because the ace of spade actually trumps the ace of clubs, the French will be able to take their first action and then follow up with the next 4 with the British. So we're going to go ahead and start with the French here. I'm going to just bring this over to right there. And what I really need to do is make sure that the French have a good way to defend that bridge. So I'm probably going to have most of them starting around this area here. Again, everyone on the French side are armed with muskets or pistols. Pistol range, again, long is 12 and short is 6. And the muskets are short 12, long 24. So that's something that I made a mistake with on the first game. So now I am going to figure out who I'm going to act first. I think we'll have Felix. And let's find out who Felix is. So another thing that I did was I actually marked the bottom with silver permanent marker. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera right now. But in any case, this is Felix. We're going to do our double action. Basically, we're just going to move 10 from the edge of the board here. And Felix is going to move to behind this wall. And that's the French action. Now we're going to go to the British. And we have the next 4 actions. I'm just going to flip the cards so I remember that these are done. All right. So for the British, really first turn is going to be all about maneuvering. We're going to have Percy, who has Sprinter. So Sprinter gets an extra 3 movement, or 3 inches. So let's see, who's Percy? Percy's the one red coat that we have. We are going to have him move up aggressively. So he's going to do the double move, which is 5 inches per action. And then another 3 because of Sprinter. So really, he's going to move up to right there. So let me see if we can get that on camera. Yep, he's moved up right there. So the next action, see if I can get a better view here. Okay. So again, Felix moved up there. We're going to take Bonnie. Let's see who's Bonnie. This is Bonnie right here, this rifleman who has a musket. Unfortunately, because he's just a regular, he doesn't get to take a specialist weapon. Bonnie's just gonna do 10. We're just gonna move up the road here. We're gonna be aggressive. That's Bonnie. So he's gonna move to right there. So that's the second action for the British. We got 2 more before we switch back to the French. We'll have Lyle. We're gonna have Lyle move up as well. He's going to move up this road to there. And then finally, we're gonna have Guy, Sergeant Guy, do his double move from this edge to there. I'm gonna try to get Guy into this farmhouse later. He has Ranger and Sniper, so this would be a good spot. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see. That farmhouse there that Guy's heading to would probably be a good spot to start shooting at folks. So, all right. We have completed 4 actions on the British side. We have 1 more for the British. Now it's the French. And let me see if I can get a better vantage point here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we already moved Felix to right there. We'll get George. George is this guy right here. Let's try to figure out where we can do some good. Okay, so I'm gonna have George do a 5-inch move to there. And I'm going to see if I can actually shoot at Percy. Now, long is 24, so I'll need an 8 up to hit. And I'm well beyond 24, so we're going to have Felix just do another move action to there. Okay? So that's one done. Now we have another Frenchman going. We're going to have Eugen, which is this guy. Yep. We're going to have him do a double move as well, since obviously we don't have range just yet. So we'll get him up the road right there, and then we will have Edouard, who is our second, also do a double move. We are going to try to defend that bridge. So both Captain Adelard, or Capitan Adelard, and Sergeant Edouard are both close combat guys. They both have sword and pistol. So Edouard to there, and then finally we'll get Captain Adelard. We're just going to move him up to right there. I don't want him totally exposed because he is the leader. Okay. So we have one more British movement or action. That's actually going to be our leader there, who looks like Sharp but is not Sharp. That is Captain Smith. And we're going to, again, he's close combat guy. We're going to move him up to right there. All right, guys, that is it for turn 1. All actions have been taken. I'm going to go to the top of turn 2. All right, top of turn 2, here are the cards. We have a king on the French side. They'll be taking the first action this turn, followed by the Jack of Hearts on the British side, and then the 10. And then we have 2 ties here. We have 7s, and we have a number 4. So with the 7s, the 7 of spades, which is French, will trump the 7 of hearts. So that'll be French, and then British. And then we have a number 4s here, we have a 5, and then we have a number 4. So in the 4s, again, spades trumps both diamonds and hearts. So it'll be spade, 4 heart, and then 4 diamonds, and then finally rounding it off with the last action for the French. So the French get to go first. I'm going to bring this up here. Let's figure out what we're going to do. We are going to do Eugen. Which one's Eugen? It's Georges. This is Eugen right here. So we're going to have a move up 5 to there. And then we're going to shoot. But Eugen has the lucky keyword. I think that's just a reroll, but I'm going to double check that. Yeah, I may reroll any die roll once a turn. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to have Eugen, who's moved up, shoot at Percy right there. Let's take the measurement on that. It should be within 24 now. Yep, 20, so it's long. I'll need an 8 up. But this is hard cover right here. So I actually will need a 10 up in order to hit. So let's see if we can do that. Again, these are Wild West Exodus dice. The, where is it? The spade with the skull will be the 10. And the Wild West Exodus symbol will be the 1. So here we go. We need 10 up. That's a miss. All right. So now that's done. We're going to have British action here. Really, I think what I want to do is get Sergeant Guy up into this farmhouse, but I don't think he can get up. So he can get into the farmhouse, but not up. Because you do have to take into account elevation here. So 10, actually, he can get up. So Sergeant Guy is now elevated, and he is staring out the window at the oncoming French. He has clear line of fire now. That's going to be deadly because he does have the sniper rule. So, all right. So that was the British action. We're going to move on to first the French and then another British action. We're going to have Georges move up. We'll actually have him move up 5. Right there. And we're going to have him take aim at Percy there. He does have the sniper rule, so the sniper trait is once per turn you may re-roll a shoot roll. You know what? I should have re-rolled this, but okay. We're going to get it right this time. So, sniper I get to re-roll. I should have re-rolled because of lucky, but I didn't. So we'll pick that up next time. Again, that is within 24 inches. So I need 10 up because of hardcover there. We're going to see if we can get the 10 up. And we do. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to roll the wound. And one thing that I realized is that each of these guys have 3 wounds. I think in the last game, they were getting killed pretty quickly, especially during close combat, but on a couple of those, it was actually a wounding roll or out of action roll. So, okay, we're going to wound Felix or Percy. We got a 1. So no effect. It did nothing. It did nothing to Percy. So that kind of sucks. All right. Next action will be a British action. Percy does not like being shot at, so he's going to follow up that shot by shooting at Eugène. This is Eugène, right? Yep. We're going to shoot at Eugène. Again, it's the same distance. Hard cover there. Going to need a 10 up. And it's a critical failure. So, got to find out what happens with a critical failure here. All right, that was pretty bad for Percy there. Basically, he had a malfunction in his musket. It's going to take 2 full turns, 2 full activations to clear that jam from his musket. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do anything or much of anything unless he's not going to do any shooting moving forward. So we'll take care of that later. But we're going to move on to the next French action. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're going to do another British action. At this point, we are going to... Who is this? Bonnie. Bonnie here is going to just move up. He's going to do a double move up onto the bridge. He's going to be more aggressive right there. Okay? So that's it for that action. We then, at this point, have 2 French actions. So, really, I am going to have Felix here. He's going to... Actually, he's going to steer right there. We have eagle-eyed. We're going to try to shoot at Sergeant Guy there. It might be a difficult shot. That is hard cover. Let's see if we're even within range. Oh, yeah. We're within range. It's going to be long range. I do need a 10 up on that roll. So, let me get a better vantage point here. So, Felix, right here, shooting into the house at Sergeant Guy. He does have eagle-eyed. So, eagle-eyed increases. Okay, that just increases range. 2 for short, 4 for long. I still need a 10 up to roll. And that's a miss. All right, so we do get another French action. Yeah, we get another French action. I'm actually going to move, who is that? Edouard, Sergeant Edouard, he's going to move up. Double move. See, I don't want to move him close to the bridge because Bonnie might be able to shoot at him, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to move him to right there. Final move, or final action of the turn is going to be Capitan Adelard, who's going to move up 10 as well. To right there. All right. Last thing about this game is that it moves very fast. Here's the status of the board. Right there. Percy again has some bad luck. He had actually bad luck in the last game too, which I don't know. Maybe he's just like an albatross on this British detachment. So we're going to go ahead and start turn 3. Sorry guys, for some reason I forgot that I both had Captain Smith here and who is this? Lyle not do anything on the last turn. I must have messed up on the sequence. But in any case, I moved them up, double move to the bridge there. So, all right, top of turn 3. It's going to be exciting. Here are the cards. So the British have drawn their first Joker. They can draw 2 more before the game pretty much ends. So the Joker is pretty much a wild card. We're going to use that as a wild card, so we'll make that a king. And then he has Queen, Jack, 6 and 2. The French, on the other hand, both have 2 aces, so that's 2 wild cards. And then an 8, 6, and 3. So what's going to happen? We have an ace of spade here. That'll trump the Joker, I would assume, because it could be any... So yeah, we'll do ace of spade, then Joker, then ace, and then so on and so forth. So it'll be... French action, followed by British action, followed by French, and then so on and so forth. Here's what we're going to do. And this is actually going to be quite a quick turn. So for the first action, British action, Percy's going to try to start clearing his musket malfunction. So he'll need another full turn to clear that finally. He's just going to stay right there. And then we're going to follow up with 2 reloads. That'll be the first two French actions. Right there. They're both reloading, so they can't do anything. I'll take a full action. And then we have a British action here. So let's get them on board, or at least further up the bridge here. We're going to have, I think this is Bonnie. Is it Bonnie? It is Bonnie. He's going to move up 5. There. Oops. He was like right there. He's going to move up 5 to there. And we are going to take aim, or we're going to shoot at Captain Adelard. So, with a musket, short is 12, definitely going to be there. So all we need in order to get a successful hit is to roll a 5 up. So, Bonnie's going to take aim at Captain Adelard there. We need a 5 up. And we... Wow! That's a 1. So that's a critical malfunction of Lyle's musket. That's horrible. The British are not having a good time of it. I mean, they've taken the bridge. Now they got to hold it. So that is not good. Right. Okay, so that sucks. Let me get a better vantage point here. Okay, so Lyle, Bonnie and Percy have done an action. Then we have the 2 reloads on the French side. We have another British action here. We're going to have Sergeant Guy here take a shot at one of the guys that are reloading. We're going to have him shoot at Georges right here. And you can see it is long range, no cover. So I just need an 8 up, and that's a miss with 3. So that's kind of sucky. Oh well. All right, that is British. We're now going to move to French. That'll be 2 French actions because there's a tie. We got an 8 and then a 6 of spade, which trumps 6 of clubs. So that'll be 2 French actions here. What we're going to do is way over here. Felix is going to reload, so that's it for him. And then we will have Sergeant Edward move up and then engage Bonnie in close combat. Yeah, that sounds pretty good, right? He's a little bit heavier. I'm just gonna have to inch him up a bit. Okay, so here we go. Close combat, first close combat of the game. Okay, so Edward has Weapon Master as his trait. One of his traits, he has +1 to close combat rolls if armed with a close combat weapon, which he is. He's armed with a sword. This is in addition to any bonuses from the weapon itself. The sword does not have any other bonuses. So Edward has a bonus of 1. So he got a 10 and basically an 11. And then Bonnie has the exact opposite. So Edward has attacked Bonnie. We are going to roll to wound. I guess it would apply to Weapon Master would apply to the wounding or just the close combat. I'm going to say just the close combat. If that's wrong, you guys let me know in the comments below. So we're going to roll for wound. Got an 8. 8 results in wounded. So Bonnie has taken his first wound. He's got 2 more. Just going to mark that off on his sheet. And then, so in close combat, once combat is complete, you can do have 3 different results after the successful close combat. Okay, so the winner of the close combat may stay locked in combat, push the loser back up to 2 inches, or switch places. So I'm going to push Bonnie 2 inches back because really we want to defend this bridge as much as possible. So Bonnie gets knocked back 2 to right there. And that is pretty much that action. Okay, so we have another British action. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, who is this? Lyle. We're going to have Lyle move up and then shoot. Actually, can he shoot? Can he see? I think he could see Edward. Hold on. I believe he can see Edward, so maybe we can just shoot from there. I'm gonna say that's the case. So Bonnie here is gonna shoot at Edward. That is 8 inch, so it's gonna be short, and he has a musket. So what I need is 5 up. Oh wow. It's another one. It's another weapons malfunction. So we actually have 3 British that have weapons malfunctions. That's horrible. Horrible. Horrible rolling. Okay. That sucks. We are down to the last French action here. So what we're going to do is have Captain Adelard, Capitan Adelard move up 5 to there. He's metal too, so I gotta make sure he doesn't slip off. And he's gonna use his pistol to shoot at Bonnie. That's short range, so I just need a 5 up. Let's get a better vantage point. This is a fight. It's a brawl now. Okay, so there we go. I need a 5 up to hit. Who's it, Bonnie? Yeah, Bonnie. And wow. So it's not just the British that have the critical malfunctions. His pistol's jammed now, but that's all right because Captain Adelard is also a close combat dude and he has a sword. So at this point, being so close, I'm not going to be worried too much about clearing his jam. Okay, so we have one more activation this turn. That's going to be Captain Smith. Captain Smith's going to move up. He's going to move up his 5 to there. Oh, let's get right there. He's going to shoot his pistol at Edward, Sergeant Edward. So this is pretty cool because the brawl is happening at the bridge. Okay, pistol. Definitely short range. We need a 5-up. And we are just shy with a 4, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, that is all the actions for turn 3. This is the status of the board. The bridge has become the center point, as it should in this scenario. We have 3 malfunctions on the British side. We have Percy, who has 1 more turn, 1 more activation, or 2 more activations to clear. We have that guy right there who jammed as well, and then Bonnie who jammed. So we're going to go ahead and get to the top of turn 4. All right, top of the turn. Unfortunately, the British have drawn their second joker, which means they only have 1 more joker to draw before the game ends. So the joker will be a wild card. We're going to make that joker or a king spade, so they get to go first, followed by the French, followed by the British again with the queen of spades trumping the queen of diamonds, and then followed by the French with the 10 of spades over the hearts, and so on and so forth. So the one thing that I haven't been doing is that certain cards actually have some modifiers. Because I'm using a standard deck and I don't know all the modifiers just yet, I'm not going to be using them. I will be ordering a horse and musket deck, which will have the modifiers printed on the cards themselves. So, all right. So first action. Also, because the British have drawn their second joker, there's more urgency on their end to take that bridge. We're going to have Captain Smith move up and then close combat Sergeant Edward. So again, short range or 5-inch move, and then he's going to engage Edward. So here's the thing about Captain Smith. He has a few keywords that make him a close combat guy. So Captain Smith, fancy footwork, wins ties in close combat. He has killer, add 1 to wound rolls. And then he has master of melee. Roll 2 dice in close combat and pick the best. If used with 2 card, you'll roll 3 dice. Okay, so I'm not using a 2 card. Okay, so I'm gonna roll the 2 dice for Captain Smith and then the 1 for Edward. Edward also has Weapon Master as well. Okay, so Edward gets Weapon Master, which means he gets +1 to his roll. And then Captain Smith, the one that's going to affect him the most right now is Master of Melee, which allows him to roll 2 dice and then pick the best. So, they were both 6s, so we're going to just choose 1. And then we're going to roll for Edward. He gets +1 to his roll. He gets a 1. Or 2, actually. So, Captain Smith has won the combat. We are now going to roll to see what the wound result is. And it's a 1, so nothing happens. Edward has survived a hit. Yeah, no effect. Right? Yeah, no effect. So that's it. That's it for Captain Smith. All right, that's the first action. We're going to go French. So Edward is going to attack. He gets a +1 to roll. So Edward. Oh, French are rolling good today. Got a 10. +1 is 11. And now we're going to roll Smith. Which, again, he gets the complete opposite. So we're going to roll the wound. You got a 4. So 4 on the wounding chart is shaken. Captain Smith has been shaken by the attack. We're going to put that on his sheet here. And then we're going to use that to have Percy clear his jam right there. So he's good. And now we have a French action. And And what's going to happen is we're going to have Adelard, Capitan Adelard, move into close combat with Bonnie, since Bonnie's already wounded. So Captain Adelard has defensive fighter, master of melee, and stealthy. So defensive fighter, let's find out what that is. If you are the okay, he's not the defender, he's the attacker. So he does have master of melee, which allows him to roll 2 dice. And we pick the best. 2 ones. That's horrible. Okay, now Bonnie. Actually, Bonnie is shaken, right? No, Bonnie is wounded. Well, you know what? He does have to fight back, right? I think he has to fight back. So, Bonnie being wounded. So, okay. So, Bonnie can fight back, but he does get a -1 because he has 1 wound. So, it's -1 per wound. He has 1 wound. I'm sure he'll win this combat, which he does. He got a 4. Okay, now we're going to roll in the wound chart. It is a 1, so no effect. Bonnie's wound has allowed him to not hurt Captain Adelard. And that is it for those actions. Oh, no. Okay. So we have 3 French actions. We're going to move up Eugène. Yeah, we're going to move up Eugène. He's going to move up 5. And then he's going to shoot at Percy. So you guys can see that. We are a lot closer now. Let's see how far we are. We are at 15. So it's still going to be a 10 up. But Eugène, again, he just has lucky, so I get to re-roll. So I need a 10 up. I don't get it. So I'm going to use lucky to re-roll. And I don't get it. So that's it for him. Now we're going to have Sergeant Guy act. Yeah, we'll have Sergeant Guy in the farmhouse here. Shoot at Eugène, who's now in clear line of fire. We're going to measure that out. We do have sniper on Sergeant Guy. So if that's 16, that's going to be long. Okay, so I can re-roll. Basically, sniper allows me to re-roll. I need a 10 up. And I get it. So now we're going to roll to wound. It's a 4. So Eugène has now been shaken. Cool. All right. So last French action. Right there. We're going to have Felix. He's going to move up. He's going to double move. So it takes 1 inch to move over this wall. So he's just going to move 9 to right there. That was a double move. So that's it for the French action. We have 1 more British action for this turn. Yeah, I did something with that. We're going to have Bonnie start clearing the jam on his malfunctioned musket. And that's it for the turn. Sorry guys, if I'm missing things here, it's because I'm still learning. And yeah, but anyway, that's the status of the board. We still have that brawl happening on the bridge here. We're going to go ahead and go to the top of the next turn. All right, top of the turn, here are the cards. So we got King, 10, 4, and 2 2s on the British side. And the French have drawn their first joker. We're going to use that as a wild card for King of Spades, so they'll take the first action, followed by Queen, 9, 7, and 3. First action of the turn will be French, followed by the British, followed by the French, and then so on and so forth. So here we go. All right. I think I'm going to continue the combat on the bridge here. We're going to have Captain Adelard here continue to attack Bonnie. I got Master of Melee. So let's see if we can roll. We'll see what we get. Okay, we got a 3 and a 2. We're going to pick the 3, obviously. And then Bonnie got a 10. He won the combat. So, all right. There's a 7 7-point difference in the close combat. Because of that difference, I get a +3 to the wound roll. So Bonnie is fighting like heck. It's got a 5 and 8, which causes a wound on Captain Adelard. Wow, okay. And then Bonnie's going to have him push back 2 inches. Because obviously Bonnie wants to clear the jam on his musket. Right there. To right there. Okay, that's it for the first action. Captain Adelard just took one to the chest. We're now going to have Captain Smith. Ooh. Oops. We're going to have Captain Smith continue to attack Edward. Again, Master of Melee. We got a 1 and basically a 10 right there. So they're definitely keeping that. Edward also got a tie. So we got a tie, our first tie here. But because Captain Smith has, what is it, fancy footwork? Hold on. He wins ties, yeah. His fancy footwork allowed Captain Smith to win tie. Gets no bonus because they got a tie, but now we're going to roll the wound. We got a 3, which is nothing. So unfortunately, even though Captain Smith won, didn't cause any issue or any problems for Edward. All right, Edward's going to hit back. Edward has Weapon Master. So I think that's +1. Yeah, +1. Okay. So Edward is going to attack. Oh, and I did choose to have Captain Smith not push Edward back because we want to get them off the bridge by killing them. Yeah. Okay, so close combat. This is Edward. He gets +1. Basically, you got a 2. Captain Smith got a 6. So Captain Smith again gets a chance to wound Edward. He hit with a 4, so he gets +1 to the wound roll. And that's an 8, so that is resulting in a wound for Edward. French are getting hurt. Okay, so that's it. That's the second action of the French. We're going to move on to the British. There. We're just going to have Bonnie clear his musket right there, so he's done. And then next up is the French. We're going to have Felix, who is eagle-eyed, just increases the range. He's going to take aim. He gets +1 for taking aim. He's going to shoot at Guy in the farmhouse. He is within short because of the +2 for eagle-eyed. So I need a 5 up +1. I got an 8, so that's good. Okay. Oh wait, no. Okay, so I got an 8. He is behind hardcover. I did make it because it would have been a 7. So rolling the wound. Got a 4, so I think that's nothing. He does nothing. Nope, makes him shaken. So Sergeant Guy is shaken. Oh, and you know what? So I keep messing up here. Captain Smith was shaken as well, and I should have done a roll before hitting Edward. So we're going to move forward and not do that, but I should roll to see if we can get the recovery from shaken on Captain Smith. No, we'll do it next turn. Well, no, we're going to roll. It's a 7, so he's not shaken anymore, which is fine. That worked out. All right. So we're going to go on to the next British turn. I think Percy cleared his malfunction. So we're going to have him move up 5. So right there. He's going to shoot at Eugene. He is within short, so all I need is a 5. You guys see that? So Percy to Eugen. I need a 5 up. I got a 7. The wound. I got a 4, which is shaken. So Eugen is now shaken. Eugen is actually double shaken. Oh, okay. What happens if they're double shaken? All right, I guess you just remove -1 if they're going to do something. So, okay. That's it for the British on that activation. We're now going to move to French. Eugène is going to try to shoot. He's going to take aim and shoot at Percy, but he has a shaken. So we're going to see if we can remove the shaken. Yeah, we're going to try to remove the shaken. We got a 10, so that's 1 shaken removed. He still has 1 left. So that means a -1 to what he will be doing. Eugène does have lucky, so we have that reroll. -2. So we're short. That's 5 up. -1 because of shaken, so that's 6 up. -2, we need 8 up. That's a re-roll for lucky. I rolled a 4, and we get it this time. So we're going to roll the wound. It is a 5. So Percy has been shaken. Nice. Percy is shaken. All right. So we have 1 more French action followed by the last 2 British actions. We're going to have Lyle. He's going to move up 5. Oh, you know what? No. Once I get the tokens from Wily Games, it'll be easier to track this stuff. He does have to clear the jam. So this is his second action to clear. And that's it for... Okay, so Lyle cleared his jam. And then I keep losing track of where I'm at, guys. So I'm going to... The British are done. No, I think I'm done. Okay. That's it for the turn. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next turn. All right, top of the turn. We got King, Queen, 8, 9, and 6 for the British. 2 aces for the French. So those are wild cards. 8, 4, and 7. So first ace there will be King of Spades. Trumps King of Hearts. Followed by another king, but we'll have the British go next. Then the Queen. Oh, you know what we're going to do? Okay, so Ace of Spades will be King of Spades. And then we're going to have Queen of Spades. So that'll be the first 2 actions for the French, followed by the British. And then we have the British on the 3rd action, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. We're going to do the French first. We're going to do some close combat again, because we really want to work this bridge out here. So Edward, okay, so Edward is wounded. I'm going to do a recovery, and then we're going to do a close combat from Edward to Captain Smith. That's what we're going to do. So we need a roll for the wound. It's 7. Model may stand. So he's standing up. Okay, so I rolled a 7. He's now standing back up. He's going to attack. He's going to attack Captain Smith. Get a 5. Captain Smith has 2 dice. Oh wait, Edward has Weapon Master. So he actually has a 6. So Edward has a 6. And then Master Melee on Captain Smith. He's won the combat. We're going to take that 10. So basically he gets a +3 to his wound roll. Yep, +3 to the wound roll. Edward is not doing so well here. So he got an 8, which is another wound. So Edward is down another wound. And we're going to stay locked in combat because obviously Captain Smith wants to kill Edward. So that's not good. Okay, so that was the first French action. We're going to do a second. We're going to do a second French action. So Captain Adelard's going to move up. It's going to engage Bonnie. So again, Captain Adelard as Master Melee. Yep. And you know, honestly, yeah, okay, Master Melee. So we got 2 rolls. We got an 8, so we're going to keep that. And then Bonnie rolled a 3. So I get a 3 up on the wound roll. And that's a 10. And in fact, I think that's an out of action for Bonnie. Let me see. Yep. Bonnie has been wounded to the point of being out of action. So that's the first kill of the game, which is good for the French. Now Captain Smith is going to be double teamed the following turn. This is not good. Although Edward is also hurt. Okay. So that was the second French action. Captain Smith going to try to finish off Edward. Aye. Okay. So Master Melee again for Captain Smith. Got a spade. And then Edward got a 9. So he still won. That's a +1. So I think it's 0 modifier. So we're going to roll the wound now to kill Edward or put him out of action. At least with another wound, we'll need an 8 up. We got a 9. So Edward is now out of action. So back and forth, guys. It's pretty awesome. So Edward, the NCO, the sergeant, has been taken out. It is now both Captain Smith and Captain Adelard on the bridge. It's getting exciting, guys. That's actually pretty awesome. Okay. So, unfortunately, Lyle right here. What did we do last turn? Actually, this is going to be a pretty quick turn. Okay. Percy's reloading, so that's done for the British action. British has 8 of spades, which trumps 8 of hearts on the French side, so they're going to get another action. So that means Sergeant Guy will reload. So that's it for that. Actually, you know what? They had a 9. So that's Sergeant Guy. He's done. I did lose an action because Bonnie got killed and Edward got killed. Okay. So Ace of Spades, that means British once more. Lyle. I believe Lyle reloaded. So we're going to move up to there. And then we're going to shoot short range at Captain Adelard. So Lyle has Deadeye. And that means, I think it's a +1. +1 to shoot roll. So he's going to shoot at Captain Adelard. He gets a +1. So I get a 10. Woo. All right. Time for wounding. I got a 6. So show that. That's a 6. And the 6 will result. Wounded. Captain Adelard has taken another wound. He has 2 wounds, in fact. I probably should have taken that into account when he was attacking Bonnie. So for the next game, I'll make sure. Again, this is a learning game. I'm still going to make mistakes. So that's it for the British. I do have 2 more French actions this turn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have 3 more actions for the French. No, 2 actions. I'm sorry. So he did the reload, right? Reload, and then we're going to have Georges. Actually, we're going to have Georges fire at Captain Smith. It is within short range. Let me see. Does see him pretty clearly. Need a 5 up. So Georges into Captain Smith. We need a 5 up. We got it. In fact, what does Georges have? Georges has Sniper. So Sniper, I can re-roll, but I don't need to re-roll at this point. So we're gonna roll to wound. We got a 9. So that's a wound on Captain Smith. Okay guys, that is it for the turn. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the top of the next turn. All right guys, top of the turn. Looks like it's the final turn. British have drawn their third joker, so Knight is falling. We are going to use that as a King of Spades, followed by, we'll do a King of Hearts on the French side. Then we have diamonds. I think it's diamonds over clubs, so it'll be the French again. And then the British, French, and then British, and then French. So this turn will probably go very quickly. What we're going to do, get some light here, is we're going to have Lyle, right? This is Lyle. He's going to move into close combat with Captain Adelard. So he has a musket which trumps sword. Let me see what that means in terms of close combat, because weapons make a difference in terms of close combat. Oh, so sword trumps musket. So I will get a +1 to my roll because Captain Adelard obviously has a sword and Lyle has a musket. So Lyle just has Deadeye. Okay, so we're gonna roll for combat again. Captain Adelard has Master of Melee. So we're gonna roll Lyle. He's got a 4. And then Captain Adelard. So Captain Adelard, we have a difference of 6. So that's a +3 to the wound roll. And that's 11 actually. That puts Lyle out of action. Wow. Even wounded and hurt, Captain Adelard is still a beast. So that's 2 of the British knocked out. All right, so that's 2 British knocked out. Captain Adelard, even though being wounded, was still able to kill Lyle or put him out of action. We are now moving to the French action. Obviously, Captain Adelard will continue close combat with Captain Smith here, but he does have 2 wounds. So he'll need to roll a recovery. Yeah, he'll need to roll a recovery here. And then based on that, he gets -1 for each wound. So we're going to roll a recovery. Hopefully we roll high. So that's a 1. So the horrible thing here is that basically Captain Adelard, the leader of the French forces, he has succumbed to his wounds. So we are still currently even when it comes to that. Captain Smith is obviously taken hold of the bridge as he's the only one that's left. So we now have we have 2 more French actions. Or I'm sorry, we have 2 more British actions here. 3 more because Captain Smith is there. So Captain Smith is actually, so I have a thing I need to figure out here. He has taken the bridge so far. Nobody else is there. This is the final turn. The 2 win conditions for the British would be to take the bridge and hold it, or take the North Road and hold it. I'm going to stay with the bridge. I'm going to use his action to reload his pistol. And that's that. Okay, next up we have the French. This is Eugene. So Eugene has 1 shaken. So I need to do a recovery, and then he's going to take an action. He's going to try to walk onto the bridge here. So Eugene rolls a 2. He remains shaken, so that's still -1 to his rolls. Yeah, he's gonna go there. So he is not, Captain Smith is now not holding the bridge. That was 1 French action done. Then we have a British action. Percy. Percy right here is going to shoot at Eugen. It should be a short. Yep, short. So we need a 5-up. He did reload last turn, so Percy into Eugen. Got it with an 8. And now to wound. 3. Nothing happens. Okay. Now we have a French action. We are going to have Georges. He's going to do a double move action to there. Definitely trying to prevent the British from taking the bridge. Okay. So that's it for the British, or for the French action. We're going to have Sergeant Guy, who has Sniper. And you can only see that guy right there. It's going to be long. Sergeant Guy, Sniper. I can re-roll my shot, so I need an 8-up. I'll need an 8-up. Got a 5, so I'm going to re-roll that with Sniper. I got a 7, so that's a miss. Final action of the game. Who is this? This is Felix. He's going to shoot at Sergeant Guy. Felix has Eagle Eye, it just increases the range. So I'm within short range at this point. Got a 7. Which is a miss. So, all right, guys. Kind of a hard-fought, quick battle. Unfortunately, the British were not able to take the bridge. Almost took the bridge, but the French were able to prevent that from happening. We did hit nightfall. At that point, reinforcements have arrived on the French side. And yeah, that's 2 French victories in the last, or the first 2 horse and musket games. Hopefully in the next game, the British will be able to pull off a win. But it was a pretty interesting game nonetheless. A lot of combat happening at the bridge. I like that I was able to get everybody that had close combat onto the bridge to try to get that down. Yeah, I really like this game. I think the problem I have is keeping track of things. There was an improvement from the last game in terms of keeping track of who was who, because I marked all the figures. But now I need to actually have some tokens printed out. I did order some tokens directly from Wiley Games, or wooden tokens, or like MDF tokens. So that'll make the next game, which will be the final learning game, a lot easier to track. Learned a lot more stuff. I think I'm getting the flow of the game. It's actually a really fun game, so definitely highly recommended. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new horse and musket battle reports coming out of the channel. And then click the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That's the best way I could personally interact with you and chit-chat to you about horse and musket and any other game that we play on the channel. That's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more horse and musket from Wargaming Noob Historical.